Hi, welcome to our video. If you watch this video, then you know that I'm in the middle of a lot of series, and you also know that I talk a lot, so I had to make this two separate videos. So what you're about to watch is the vlog of me reading series I'm in the middle of. So, as previously stated at some form in this video, guys, please, can you play in 5 minutes? This is the reading vlog to go with my video where I went through which series I was in the middle of, and it ended up having to be 2 different videos. And so I'm reading the books in this video, and I did start with China Rich Girlfriend, which is a sequel to Crazy Rich Asians. So if you don't know what Crazy Rich Asians is about, I'll talk about that book, like summary, because like this is like the sequel, but it's about this woman named Rachel who lives in New York City, and she is a professor at a university, and her boyfriend Nick is also a professor there, and they've been dating a couple years, but she's never met his family, and his best friend is getting married, and he's like, hey, come home with me to Singapore and meet my family and go to my best friend's wedding. And she's like, I don't know. And he's like, come on, it'll be fun. And then they get there, and she finds out he's like really, really rich, like really rich. And so the book kind of just, it's not just about them, it also follows like his relatives and like his friends. Like there's a lot of different points of view. It's all in third person, so it like flows from point of view to point of view a lot. And it's really more like a literary fiction, honestly, than like a romance, but of course there is romance in it. There is a plot line with Rachel's dad who she did not know growing up. Like her mom was a single mom. And so that's like the first book. And so not going into spoilers, but this book kind of just follows the same characters as the previous book, and there's a couple new characters that it's following, because like I said, it it jumps around like point of view to point of view like a lot. And so like a chapter will start and you're like, I don't know who this person is, and then after a few pages you're like, oh, they're now in a conversation with this character that I do know, and you're like getting their backstory for like 2 pages, and then it leads into the plot. And so since there's like so many moving pieces, you do have to get used to the writing style, and it's not a bad thing. It's just like a lot to take in and a lot to remember, because there's so many different characters and you're jumping around points of view so much, and both books are like that. And so I started reading this book for this video, and it's like I was enjoying it, but I was having a hard time getting into it, and so I decided to download it to my Kindle.
Medicine. Please just eat it, because you know what I have to do if you don't.
She's purring.
There's so many cats here right now.
Yeah.
So I downloaded it to my Kindle. I looked on Libby and it was available at my library for me to download. Like it was like perfect. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to read it on my Kindle. And I'm really liking it now that I'm reading on my Kindle, which I don't know why. It's the same book, but for some reason I'm enjoying it more on here. But I did go through and find where I am in the book as like a visual representation. So that's how much I read. So I'm almost done. According to the Kindle, I'm 77%. So I'm almost done with the book. And like I said, I am enjoying it now that I'm reading it on my Kindle. But yeah, so I read part of physical, part of it as an ebook. I think I liked the first book more. I can't really pinpoint why. I just feel like the author is experimenting a bit more with writing style in this book. And this is something I don't really like with books, but there will be like, there's like a combination of like the way a book is normally written, and then there will be like a news article, and then there will be like a journal entry, and then it will be like emails and text. And normally I really like stuff like that, and I'm going back and forth in the book to whether I like it or not. It just depends on the contents, I think, and like how long it is. I have found that if it's spanning for too long, I'm not as interested as like snippets here and there. And also there's like a lot of talk about fashion in this book, which I'm not a big fan of, because I'm like clearly not into fashion at all. And so I'm like paragraphs and paragraphs of like clothing, and I couldn't tell you what a single word means. So yeah. But yeah, that's my update. I'm hoping to finish maybe tonight, if not tomorrow night, and then I'll get to pick the next book I'm reading. it is the next day, and I did in fact finish China Rich Girlfriend last night. I read like, it was over 20%. It was probably like 25. I don't remember. I literally just said it so you guys know, but I don't. But yeah, I just sat down and I read for like an hour and a half, an hour and 40 minutes, just like straight. Finished the book. And it was really good. And the last like 30% of the book was like wild. Like, it was all over the place, and not in a bad way. Not in a bad way. It was like, there was like so much happening, and it like turned into a little bit of a mystery, and it was just like wild what the plot lines, just everything that was happening. And the way it ended was also really insane, and just like so much drama, and I really liked it. I still think I'm sitting at 4 stars for this one because I just feel like it wasn't as cohesive as the first one, and I feel like it had very little of Rachel and Nick in it. And I have said that it's not necessarily just a romance, it is more of like literary fiction, but it is supposed to be romance, I think. So I feel like Nick and Rachel should still be the center, and it's fine if it goes to like other points of view, because I do like learning about the other characters and seeing their storylines, especially Nick's cousin Astrid. I love her. But I just feel like it spent so much time on other people that we didn't get very much Nick and Rachel. I feel like it's like I like having all the points of view and like seeing other people and how they fit in with Nick and Rachel ultimately. But there were quite a few. I feel like it was kind of almost too many, to the point where it felt like it didn't really connect. And I'm sure it did, but I literally could not follow how it connected. But it was still overall like a really good book. I could be holding it right now. It's just sitting in my lap. I'm just lazy. Overall, it was a really good book, and I do want to read the third one. Hopefully soon. Honestly, it depends on when it's going to be available from the library, because I feel like I'll want to read it as a ebook instead of physical. I think that's my summary for this, and so now it's time to pick out what my next book is going to be. So let's go do that. Okay, this is the angle we're going to be at because I'm on my little GoPro. But so these are the books that like I was thinking about continuing. So I obviously read the sequel to this one, and obviously I could keep continuing the series because there's still one more to read, but I just would like to continue another series, which is probably not as productive as just finishing one, but there's one I really want to read. So we're going to read that one instead. And it's Bridgerton, because the third season is out now. Like, at least, oh my god, I almost fell into my chair, but still. So the third season is out now, and I'm waiting to watch it. 1, because I wanted to read books 3 and 4. 2, because I want to wait until the whole season is out and I can watch it, like I can binge it. Hi, Sypha. And so I'm waiting, but like everyone's talking about Bridgerton, and it's making me really miss the show, because I do really love the show. It's just so like enthralling and gossipy, and I love it. And so I'm gonna start the third book, so I'm 1 step closer to watching the third season, because I just have to get through this book and then the 4th one, and then wait for the second half to come out. But yeah, so this is the book we're gonna start, and I think I'm going to keep using my bow bookmark. I started using this bookmark when I was filming my like Sarah Crowley Picks My Reads, because it's so Sarah Crowley coded, and I just really love it because it's bows. It's really cute. And I just keep using it for all the books I'm reading now, because, I mean, I like it too. It's like a bookmark I literally own. So that's all I need from this room. Unless Sypha wants to come with me. Do you want to come with mommy? Come on, let's go to the couch. Do you want to go to the couch? No? Okay. That's okay, because I have a handsome man on the couch. Hi, baby. Hi. Are we gonna cuddle and read some Bridgerton? You watched the first 2 shows with me? It's funny because he doesn't know what's going on. Okay, I'm gonna start this now. Oh my god, what if... The opening line. Prologue. Everyone knew that Sophie Beckett was a bastard. Oh god, this is gonna be so good. This is gonna be so good, Bailey. I don't know why you're leaving. Wait, did I ever say what Bridgerton is about? Because I don't think I did in this video. If you somehow don't know what Bridgerton is about, it's a romance set in the Regency era. So like Pride and Prejudice, you know? Like big dresses, dowries, you are given to a man, otherwise you're like useless because you're a woman, that kind of time. But this is set in like rich Like, these people are rich, and it's set in London, and it follows the Bridgerton family, which is 8 kids, and each one follows each kid as they are finding a suitor, because there are 4 boys and 4 girls, varying ages. So they each have to find a suitor. Of course, that means different things for depending on your gender. The very first book follows the 4th child, which is the oldest daughter. So she's the first one to get married out of all of them. And then, yeah, this book follows the 2nd oldest son, Benedict. It's just drama-filled Regency era romance set in London, and they're rich. And in case you watch the show and you're wondering, the Whistledown plot is barely anything in the book. The chapters just start with like an excerpt from like Whistledown's like thing she publishes, and that's it. There's like barely any mention of her. The characters just kind of mention her, like, did you see what Whistledown wrote today? And then they just move past it. They blow up that storyline in the show, which I love because it's so dramatic. But it's really not a big plot in the book. And if you watch the show and you know who Whistledown is, I don't think that's true in the book. At least it hasn't come out in the first 2 books. I guess I'll keep reading and see if it eventually comes out. It's like not even a plot in the book. So I find that interesting. I'm gonna shut up and read now. My reading chair is right next to the vent in my room, so it's actually freezing to sit here and read. But anyway, I just finished An Offer from a Gentleman, and I don't think I ever gave an update while I was reading. So after starting the book, I realized it was a Cinderella retelling, which I found refreshing that it was something different. And I know that sounds weird because, like, how many times has Cinderella been done? But the first 2 Bridgerton books have basically the same trope. The show does it differently, but the books are basically the same. So going to the 3rd book, I was like, man, I hope this has a different trope. So it was refreshing that it was a Cinderella retelling, and I really liked it. I forgot all of the thoughts I had in my head. So obviously it starts as like a Cinderella retelling, and then it takes a turn where it's like not really Cinderella anymore, but I still liked that aspect of it. I liked the way it was done. I liked that it had different tropes than the other 2 books, and I really love Benedict. I don't know if I said this going into the book, but I was excited for his story because, I mean, he's not really in the other books very much because obviously the books are different than the shows, and the other siblings don't really have plots in the books because the books focus on like the main characters, but in the show they do it differently because it's a show. You know this. But from watching the show, I really liked Benedict, and I was like looking forward to his story, which is why I'm upset that they skipped him for the show, but it means I was looking forward to his book. And yeah, I still really love Benedict. There was like a few things he did in the book that I didn't love, but you know, men, even when they're written by women. But overall, I did really like this book. I do think it is my favorite of the 3 Bridgerton books I've read so far. I did read the other 2 like 2 years ago, so it has been a minute. I'm trying to think of if I have any other thoughts. I think I'm gonna rate it 4 stars, which is the same rating I gave the other two, I think. But I do like this one better. I don't think I liked it enough to give it 4.5, and I don't do quarter ratings. I think 4 stars is where I'm at for this one, and I am looking forward to reading the next one, which is Colin's story, which is what the 3rd season follows. But one more book, and then I can start the 3rd season, because it is May 26th today, so the rest of the episodes come out soon, I think. But yeah, so I finished that book. I don't think I'm going straight into the next one. I do think I want to continue a different series for this video, which I think I'll just pick tomorrow because it's past my bedtime right now. It's almost 11 o'clock, and I normally go to bed a lot earlier, but I just really was enjoying that book. But yeah, overall I really liked the book, and I can't think of anything else I can say right now. Yeah, that's that book. Okay, so it's the next day. I'm going to pick the next book for this video now. Once again, I am on my GoPro, so the tripod's really small. Okay, so these are the series that I've started and I'm considering. I finished the Bridgerton book, so we're gonna put that one away. Okay, so that leaves 4 more series, which is the Mistborn series, the Temperance Brand series, Red Rising, and Magnolia Park. And I think I want to read the next Magnolia Parks book, which is actually the next Magnolia Parks book. It's Magnolia Parks A Long Way Home. Now, this one is a bit of a chunker. It is a big boy, and I'm trying to remember. Yeah, the text is also like kind of small, and it is a big book, and it is kind of thick, and the lighting in here is so bad. I'm actually about to go to dinner with my mom for her birthday, so I'm not starting it quite yet, but I will be starting it when I get home from dinner. I just want to go ahead and pick it while the sun was still out. And yeah, that's the next book. Okay, so like I said, and like you saw, the next book I'm reading is Magnolia Parks The Long Way Home. This is the 3rd book in the world, the 2nd Magnolia Parks book. I have read like 60 pages so far, and it's huge. But yeah, if you don't know what Magnolia Parks is about, it is kind of like Gossip Girl. It's basically about these like socialites in London and their drama. And it's very, very toxic. It's a romance book, but it is so toxic. It's literally, yeah. Just know that going into it. But it's also really addicting to get into their world and to see their drama and their relationships. And you get, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm attached to the characters, but I want to keep reading about them. This one follows Magnolia Parks and BJ Ballantyne, and they dated and they broke up, and they have like a thing, and it's like a whole thing. And then the other part of the series is called Daisy Hates, which follows a girl named Daisy Hates, her brother Julian Hates, and her love interest Christian Hims, I think is how you say his last name. And Daisy's brother is like a gang lord, so that's that kind of drama. But they're all in like the same friend group, sort of, which is why they're like in the same world, but it's like kind of 2 different series because it follows different characters at like the same time. So, like the first 2 books, Magnolia Parks and Daisy Hates, take place at the same time, and the next 2 take place at the same time. So I'm reading Magnolia Parks A Long Way Home, and then the next one is Daisy Hates: The Great Undoing, and those 2 also take place at the same time. I don't even know what I think so far. Last night I read like 50 pages. I was trying to adjust to the writing style because it's very lyrical, I guess, poetic. I don't know. It's very like, I don't know. I don't even know. And just trying to get back into like Magnolia and BJ's heads and like how they view each other. And I think I'm in it now. And so now I'm just wondering where the story's going. I said it's toxic, okay? So it's not like I support what they do to each other, but their love for each other, it's something else. And yeah. So that's all I have to say right now. I'm just going to keep reading. So, okay. So I am almost halfway through Magnolia Parks A Long Way Home. This is Lily. You know who she is. Okay. So I don't think I've given an update since I started this book, but I'm on page 272 out of like 500 something. 524, about halfway. I don't remember remember what I've said about this book. They have a very toxic relationship now where they like kind of like get back at each other and they still love each other and they want to be with each other, but like they just keep getting in the way of being with each other and they're like not communicating with each other, and it's like just so toxic, but like it draws you in. That's what this book is about. And the first 100 pages of this book were like insane. I don't know why Cooper always decides to play on the cat tree while I'm filming. First 100 pages of this book were like literally insane. There were so many things that were like revealed from like the first book. Like, I won't say what it is, but like, for example, December 3rd is like this date they talked about in the first book, but they didn't say why it was significant. You'll learn why it's significant. Just little things like that are revealed and you're like, oh, so that's... Do you think you're being sneaky?
I was just trying not to make too much noise.
Yeah, but then you went down the squeaky staircase.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
My boyfriend did the like sneaky, like dramatic sneaky, you know, like from cartoons down the hallway. But then he went down the squeaky stairs. So is he really being sneaky? They are so toxic, but I want them to be together so badly because they really love each other so much. And I'm not sure how they're able to hurt each other the way they do because of how much they love each other. Because it's like, you get both points of view. You know how much they love each other, but yet they just keep hurting each other and they're just not communicating. And I think if we just sat down and had an honest conversation about how they feel and what actions they can take, it would be resolved. It wouldn't be 500 pages, but where would the fun be in that? You wouldn't be able to read it, and I don't know, you wouldn't be entertained. So I'm really enjoying reading this book. And which video was it? Oh, it was in my reading Sarah Crowley Picks My Books video. This is one of her favorite series. That's why I've read it. But I read the second book in the series, which is the Daisy Hates is the one you read second. And it takes place at the same time as Magnolia Parks with different characters, but those characters are in it. And I really liked that book. And so I'm reading this book, and whenever like Daisy or her brother are mentioned, I'm like, it's like one sentence and I'm like, give it to me, I want it. And like things are happening that I'm just like, how did we get there? And I know I'm gonna find out once I read the next book, which is Daisy Hates the Great Undoing. Like, I know that one's gonna explain it, but like right now I get like these snippets and I'm just like, how do we get there? I want to know right now. Like, I'm so impatient to like get to that book. And I'm really enjoying this one, but I also just like really want to get to the next one too. I think that's all I have to say, really. I'm going to keep reading tonight. I am going to go sit in my boyfriend's room and read in my reading chair he keeps in there. So I'm going to set the camera up somewhere to film a couple clips of reading. And I'm going to take my kitty cat and my doggy with me. Hopefully we'll all fit in the reading chair. And yeah, I'm going to go read some more.
My boyfriend plays Dungeons and Dragons. And so he's making little props right now. So this is a little brick wall he made. Isn't it cute? It's not painted yet, but it will be painted. There he is.
Hello.
So he's going to be crafting while I'm reading.
Wait, no, I thought of something else to say.
Okay.
No, not to you, the camera.
Oh.
I forgot the biggest thing I wanted to say about this series is that the writing, this is going to sound like a big insult. It's very Wattpad-y. And not like it's childish, has plot holes, anything like that. Some of the lines are very poetic and beautiful, so that's not a problem. But the characters are so dramatic in like an emotional way. Like, one little thing will happen and they burst into tears like it's the end of the world. And they go off and sulk for like 2 days. Like, it's really dramatic. And so that part's Wattpad-y, and so is the way they talk about clothes. And I know earlier in this video I talked about China Rich Girlfriend and how that book talks about clothes. It does it in a different way. In that book, it like, I don't like it, but like it fits. In this book, it's like, it feels like it's thrown in there to be in there. And so like I saved an example, like in my head I saved an example, the page number to go back to. So, where to go? Da, Bridget blinks, hands on the hips of her bright orange crystal embellished Ghani cardigan. Like, why? Like, just say hands on her hips. Like, why do I need to know what she's wearing in that scene? You know? And it's like every single time, like, a person's mentioned in anything to do with their body, it says, like, what kind of clothing is on the body part. So it's like, I pulled the hood of his Oregon printed cotton jersey jumper from
rude over half his face just to annoy him. Just say you pulled the hood over half his face. Like, it does not matter what the brand is. Literally every other paragraph is some kind of clothing on someone's body. Like, every scene, you know what everyone in the scene is wearing. And it feels like it's thrown in there just to be thrown in there, just to show off. Wow, there are so many cats in here. And that's just annoying to me. It feels like when you're reading a fan fiction and they are like describing the clothing and then they put that link in there to that website, you know, from like 10 years ago when they used to like 10 years ago?
Probably more than that.
Yeah, that was more when I was in middle school, not in high school, like 13 years ago. They'd like put that link and it'd take you to that website and it would be like the whole outfit they like put together. Do you know what I'm talking about? That's what it feels like. And it's just like, and I don't dislike these books. Like, obviously, like I'm on the third one and like I rated the first one 4 stars. I rated Daisy Hates 4.5. Like, I do like the books, but that's just the thing that I don't like about the writing is I figured out it's Wattpad-y, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's also not a great thing. And that's the thing I forgot to say earlier. I'm gonna go back to reading now.
She did not end the book that way. Oh, I didn't. I don't know what I was expecting or predicting, but it 100% was not that. That book took a lot of turns I was not expecting. The ending was nothing I was expecting. And I don't know. I liked that one more than the first one, I think. And I don't know if it's because I think it's just because I know the characters better now. And like I said, I'm like sort of attached to them. Because I don't think it's necessarily better than the first one because they're like even more toxic in this one. I think I just have the same opinions as the last time I updated. And I'm just not really sure about a rating because it's like I want to give it 4.5, but like also I so disagree with how toxic it is. But like also I was like really enjoying it. So I'm thinking 4.5. Wow, that ending. But I definitely am looking forward to Daisy's next book. And I'm actually looking forward to the next Magnolia Parks book. Who would have thought that? Who would have thought that I'd be looking forward to a Magnolia Parks book? In my head, I was like, I'm ready for the next Daisy Hates book, which means I have to get through the next Magnolia Parks book. I wasn't necessarily excited to read about Magnolia. I just really wanted to get back to Daisy. But now, through this book, I'm excited to read more about Magnolia and BJ. But that ending, I'm gonna need a few days to process it. Yeah, so that's the last book I'm gonna read in this video because that's 3 books and it's June now, so I want to get this video posted. But as a little update, in case you're wondering, I'm about to start the next Bridgerton book, and I'm not gonna like put it in this video like I said, but I am actually starting it right now. I just can't stop thinking about Bridgerton because everyone's talking about it. And so I watched Queen Charlotte because I hadn't watched that yet. And I was so obsessed with it. And now I want more. So I'm starting Colin's book now so that I can get back to the show. And then I don't know what I'm going to do with my life because I'll have to wait another at least year for another Bridgerton thing, maybe 2. What am I supposed to do with my life? I don't know. Because I've tried to rewatch the show and it's just not the same watching it again. Anyway, yeah, that's the video. So, yeah, I read 3 books. I think I gave 2 of them 4 stars and this one 4.5 if that's what I'm deciding on. Like I said, I don't know if I am deciding on that. But that's, pretty productive. I know I didn't actually finish a series in this video, but I did progress farther into series. So I'm counting that as a win. I also read books that I own. That is also a win. And I enjoyed what I read. So that's also a win. So I would say this video went well, even though it took me into June, which I didn't want it to. But to be fair, it's only June 5th. So we're not that far into June. So that's it. Maybe I'll do another one of these videos soon, reading some more books in series. I don't know, but maybe you'll watch some more of my videos, and yeah, bye.